I fucking love this movie. This movie is terrible.
Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to another review for 2015 for the summer season. I'm hoping to do a few more of these. So, before we get started, I just want to give you guys a few updates. Sorry for the delay on the Jurassic Park 3 review. It's mostly been delayed because I'm currently working on the visual effects for Kong, which are going really well, by the way, so there's another update. But, it's getting there. It's about halfway done. I'm hoping to get it out prior to Jurassic World's release, and let me tell you, this review is gonna be a pretty angry one. I don't think I've ever been this pissed off about a movie in any review that I've done, but, yeah, that's coming along fine, so I just wanted to update you guys on that. But, yeah, we are here to review Avengers: Age of Ultron. This is the 11th installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and, we're gonna talk about it today. So, full disclosure, I really like the Marvel movies. I mean, they're nothing, like, I haven't really been a big Marvel fan since these movies came out. Like, I mean, I did, like, Spider-Man. I didn't know much about the X-Men or Fantastic Four. I haven't even watched any of those movies, to be honest, the X-Men Fantastic Four films, so bear with me, I will watch them eventually. But, yeah, Spider-Man was always my favorite in Marvel. But then, you know, when the other films came out, I mean, I started to grow on them, and I really liked them. So, just before I get to the main event, I should talk about the first 10 movies, very, very quickly in a quick summary. So here we go. Iron Man 1 and 2, I really like. I felt they're, to start off the series, I mean, Iron Man's probably one of the cooler characters in the series, and, I really liked those, first two Iron Man films. I thought they were really fun, really entertaining, and most of the Marvel films are, but love Tony Stark, love Pepper Potts, and when Nick Fury showed up, I was like, oh my god, they're doing the Avengers thing. The Incredible Hulk, I'll be honest, I haven't seen. I've only seen bits and pieces of it, and that's mostly due to the fact that I kind of skipped out on it when it first came out, and since then have not seen it. And that's mostly due to the fact that I did see Ang Lee's Hulk first. I remember seeing that in the drive-in, and like, quarter way through I fell asleep. It was so boring, so I always thought the Hulk movies were kind of boring, but I may give them a second watch just for the heck of it. What was next? I believe the next one was Thor. I really like Thor, personally, is probably one of my favorites in terms of the Marvel characters. I really like Thor. I think he's one of the cooler ones, mostly due to the fact that he's from sort of a fantasy Greek realm of some kind, and that always intrigues me, is that kind of thing. So I really like the Thor films, both Thor 1 and Thor 2, so those are skipped off. And then there's Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which is actually one of my personal favorites out of the whole series, mostly due to the fact that it's in the 1930s and 40s, and it has that kind of style of that kind of look to, like, that classic adventure movie, kind of like The Rocketeer or Indiana Jones and stuff. Although it's funny how Captain America, the First Avenger is what I meant. Captain America: First Avenger is directed by the guy who did The Rocketeer, Joe Johnston, also directed Jurassic Park 3, but we'll get to that. And then we have the Avengers, the first Avengers. I actually, as you saw my review, you can go check that out, so I'll save you time on that. But I overall really liked it. I thought, like, it was for the first kind of big multi-crossover genre movie. It really did the job well. Joss Whedon knows how to write chemistry with different characters from different universes. So there's that. Iron Man 3... I didn't like that one at all. I actually thought it kind of sucked. It's mostly due to the fact that it was just like, there was barely any Iron Man in it, and it was just kind of boring. And the fact that it's a Christmas special. It's not even Iron Man 3. I just consider it an Iron Man Christmas special, which I'm surprised Marvel hasn't done a Christmas special yet for ABC, but that would be cool. Didn't like Iron Man 3. Then there's Thor: The Dark World, which I really liked. I really like anything with Thor. Captain America, The Winter Soldier, was actually surprisingly really good and really suspenseful for a Marvel movie, given this is Disney. And now I'm starting to realize, Disney's giving them some slack and letting them do a bit more mature stuff with their characters. And I did feel it was very much like The Dark Knight in a sense, like that kind of tone was for Winter Soldier. But yeah, there was that. And then there was, I think the last one was Guardians of the Galaxy, which I actually did see. I didn't get a chance to review it, but I really liked that one. I felt like it was very entertaining, very fun, and it was just basically like Star Wars. It's pretty much what Star Wars should be now, in terms of what it should be now, aside from those prequels. But, yeah, and now we get to the main event, which is Avengers Age of Ultron, and overall... I didn't mind it. It was actually pretty fun. It was a fun, entertaining ride. I will say this, though, it was not as big as the first film. And I mean that in the sense, like, not like it's not as good as the first one. I don't mean that at all. I mean, I think it's a pretty fun and entertaining movie. But in terms of scope and tone, it did feel like a smaller story, honestly. It felt like something which Captain America Civil War should be. But, which comes out next summer. But, this movie honestly felt a lot smaller than, the last one, because the last one had this big battle in New York. This one takes place on a little, floating little city, and it was just kind of a small little, and also it's a smaller threat than the first one. Like, Loki and the guys from space were a lot bigger, and given the trailers for Age of Ultron, they make Ultron look like this really disturbing big villain, and he's just like a computer. He's just a computer hacker, and I mean that's all he is. And speaking of Ultron, I liked him as a villain. I thought he was actually pretty good. Surprisingly, I did not expect him to be such a wisecracking like jokester in the movie, because in the trailers they made him look like this really dark and disturbing guy, which he still is in the movie, but I didn't expect him to pull off so many one-liners and jokes and everything, which a lot of these movies have, and you know what, I like that. I do like the kind of wisecrack humor and everything to these movies, which is interesting. Like, just a little side note, DC, I can see why they can't do that, because like the last time they did that, we had the Joel Schumacher Batman films, and look how that turned out. Now, I know Superman's kind of the same formula, but I can see why DC can't do that now, because like a lot of their comics are dark. So I'm now going to give Batman vs. Superman a chance, because I was a little afraid after, because I'll be honest, Man of Steel sucked. But anyway, to the point, back to Ultron. I think in overall, the two favorite Avengers of mine are probably Hulk and Thor, as I said before. I really like Thor as a character in this movie, and I felt he was really the best one, because he had the hammer. He killed so many of Ultron's like minions and different bodies, and like he could have settled this whole thing on his own. He could have just shorted out their circuits with his lightning, and yeah, just that kind of thing. But then there's the Hulk, and the Hulk I really like in this one. I thought they gave him a lot more character and a lot more screen time than he did before. But what's also interesting is that, like, the relationship between him and Black Widow, I felt was very kind of Beauty and the Beast-esque storyline that it had to it. And it was kind of, as I said before in my first Avengers review, which I probably did, it did have that kind of vibe. But in this one, it was actually, I thought it was really cool how they gave them a relationship. And it does, it can really show, like, it's kind of like if King Kong was able to talk about what kind of monster he is. Like, if he were to turn into a human form and be like, what is... Like, you see what happens to me is, like, I'm a monster, I can't control it and everything, and I like that. I like how it's kind of like a split personality, almost, and the fact that, Black Widow is very, attached to this guy. And then you have, the two new superheroes. You have, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, which are technically from the X-Men, but apparently Marvel was able to get the right specs somehow. Which is a shame why X-Men is not included in these movies. But overall, I like them as characters. The only thing I didn't like was their kind of Russian-German accent. I mean, nothing wrong with their, like, characters like that, but it's just, like, it was kind of, like, distracting for characters like that. I don't know if they're, like, Russian or German in the comics, but, it just seemed kind of distracting when they were talking. But overall, great characters. Quicksilver was great with supersonic speed. He's pretty much the Marvel equivalent to the Flash. And then Scarlet Witch, I thought was, okay, but she was probably, honestly, the more annoying out of the two, which is, kind of a shame. And then, of course, you have, surprisingly, other Avengers showed up, other Marvel superheroes. War Machine showed up, Falcon showed up, which I thought was kind of distracting that he wasn't at the final battle and he only showed up at the end of the movie, and, like, the beginning and the end of the movie, so, like, where the fuck were you, Falcon? What the hell? But, you know, War Machine was there, Falcon was there, Nick Fury was there, the whole Hellcarrier ship came in, and I thought the whole final battle was honestly really fun. It was really suspenseful, too, a lot more than the first one, but overall, like, all the action sequences with all the Avengers were just, like, you know, pow, zap, you know, just, and they would just fight, and it was just, like, it was so awesome to see. Now, I also saw this movie in Ultra AVX 3D, and I have to point something out. That Star Wars trailer in Ultra AVX 3D, it makes me wonder how it's going to be in IMAX 3D, but, guys, oh my god, just very quick, I am so excited for this Star Wars movie. I thought I was kind of iffy at first, given with the prequels, but overall, that movie looks amazing. All practical effects, it just looks, like, I saw that trailer, I was literally crying, because I'm like, this is pretty much an apology for the prequels. This looks amazing. But, back to Marvel, and, yeah, I mean, the writing with Joss Whedon was, I really like Joss Whedon as a writer, given that he can write good chemistry with characters. And then you got the music, which, surprisingly, was not done by Alan Cervinski, who did the first one. I was kind of ashamed that he didn't do the score for that, but the score was fine, I thought it was actually pretty good. But, and then you got, very quickly, the Vision. I liked the Vision. I thought he was really cool. He's created by he's basically Jarvis in human form. Or should I say superhuman form. But, really like him as a character. And I did like how they're all setting up for the later movies, like when Andy Serkis shows up as the main villain for Black Panther. And then you have Thor, who's, I guess like in Thor Renegade, he's going to go after the Infinity Stones. He's going to see what's going on with that. And then you have the whole rivalry between Captain America and Iron Man is really well done in this movie. And then it just leads up to Civil War, which I'm really excited for now. Although that feels more like Avengers 2.0. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Overall, Avengers Age of Ultron is a great and fun, entertaining ride from start to finish. I think the kids are gonna like it. You guys are gonna like it. It's a great way to start the summer movie season. What a way to start with a bang like that, with something from Marvel. But overall, I really liked it, and I'd say I'd give it about maybe an 8 out of 10. Like, Avengers I gave a 9, I think, but, like, Avengers 2 is about an 8. I mean, given that it's not as big as the first one, it's gonna be kind of slight down a little bit more. But overall, I really enjoyed it. So that's it for today, guys. Hopefully I can get back into doing more movie reviews if I see more movies, that is. And hopefully I can continue these and I can show you guys with more films coming out. And I'm sorry that this is a little late. It took me a while to finally see this movie. So next time, hopefully, the next big video I'm working on, actually, aside from Kong and Jurassic Park 3, is going to be my Anime North vlog. If you guys want to know, I'm going to be returning to Anime North, so if you guys want to see me there, it's at the Toronto Congress Center from May 22nd to the 24th, and if you see me there, be sure to say hi and shit. So, yeah, that's about it. Alright, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. This is BigJackFilms, signing off.